Mommy Machine here with my buddy the Chubs. We're going to give you a little update. We had an extended power outage. It was 30 hours that we had no power and no heat in the middle of a cold snap. So it got down to, I'm not exactly sure, but the low 50s inside the house for a whole day. And the plants did not like it much, especially since they were still recovering from the whole fungus gnat episode. So in just a moment, I'm going to show you the devastation here. So here we have what's left of this pan of little baby greens. There aren't very many plants left, and as you can see, some of them aren't looking that good. So this number will probably dwindle even further. No, Chubs, you can't have it. This was full of spinach seedlings. It is no longer full of spinach seedlings. Okay. Here you go, Chubs. I'll put you down. Yeah, you can play with the backpack, okay? There we go. Okay. So this used to have a bunch of spinach plants in it. Now it has a small handful of spinach plants that are probably not going to live. These have already gone downhill even further since the last time I looked at them. So they're probably done for. This was the one with all the leggy ones that I started in the basement. Lesson learned, for seed starting, I got to start them in the window. Basement does not have enough light for seedlings. But I think these two little spinaches, this one here and this one here, are probably going to survive. So that's something. These guys are still doing well. We've got some kale and some chard. These ones were the oldest and the most well established when it got cold, and so they have done the best. And my watercress is still doing well. So that's good. And I've been eating this a lot, so the fact that there are this many leaves, that's a happy plant. Here are my little tomato seedlings, which are not so little anymore. I had to pick some dead leaves off of them down here. And same thing with this one. I had to trim off some dead parts. Looks like I missed a spot. But other than losing a few leaves, they're doing okay. They still need to get transplanted. These ones are all doing fine. But the giant indoor tomato of doom is definitely struggling. We're gonna go downstairs in a moment and show you how that guy's doing. But I think this has actually been a useful learning experience for me. Baby greens are a pain in the butt. I'm probably not gonna do too much of the baby greens for my long-term strategy here. I think I'm gonna go with larger mature plants and do what's called cut and come again. There are two different ways to do that. One is certain kinds of plants you just kind of whack the top off and then it grows more leaves. Others you pick off the outer leaves and just keep picking off whatever are the outermost leaves. And that's what I'll be doing with my kale, my chard, and my spinach from now on, because the baby greens are too labor intensive for me right now. I'll probably do that again sometime because that's what I prefer to eat. But it's a pain. You have to sow a whole big pan of them every 2 weeks and baby them all along the way. The baby plants don't like the basement. There's not enough light. And there's only so much room in my tiny kitchen by that window. So I'm going to save what I can of the plants that I've already got, whatever are the biggest, healthiest looking ones, and turn those, grow them to full size, put them in larger pots, and do cut and come again with those, and quit the baby greens for now. So this was useful, even if it was a little bit of a bummer. So let's check out the downstairs plants. Downstairs plants are not doing so well, not surprisingly, because in addition to being cold, they were also deprived of light down in the basement because no power, no lights. And these little basement windows don't do a whole lot. So here we go. Also, I bought some sand to kill the fungus gnats around these guys, and I thought I was being so smart by buying Repto sand sand for reptile terrariums. I figured, you know, it's sand. How special does it need to be? But there's something weird about this sand. I don't know. The plants are not liking it. So this guy, my little pollinator buddy, is probably not going to make it. Bummer. I finally harvested the celery to throw in the soup, but I'm going to keep these guys around and just see if they'll grow any more for me. My basil plants are actually doing all right down here. They seem to like the relatively low light conditions. The transplanted tomato is still alive, but not exactly thriving. I don't know if he's going to make it. Here's another pan of spinach, which immediately started withering when I put the sand on. But some of the plants are doing better than others. So I think I will get a few live ones out of here, and that's good enough. And here is the giant indoor tomato of doom. I picked off most of the dead leaves, but you can tell it looks a lot thinner. There's just not as much greenery there, and even some of what's here is gonna need to be trimmed off as well. It's not liking, it really didn't like the cold. It looked the way plants look after a frost when they're not frost tolerant. It's just kind of like liquefying on the vine, practically. The leaves, like you touch them and they just squish. It was weird. I know it didn't get freezing down here, but apparently it was too cold for the tomato. But it's still alive, and it has a few blossoms that have not dropped or shriveled, so we might get a new fruit set over here. The original fruit set right here is coming along. All these empty spots. We harvested the tomatoes and ate them, and they were delicious. And these ones are ripening. And our second fruit set over here is starting to ripen. So it's still coming along. I don't know if it's gonna last too long, but we got something off it. Here are the potatoes. They're getting big. And as you can see, I moved things to try to take advantage of the little bit of natural light that we do get and combine that nice bright incandescent bulb with my grow light and just see if I can make the basement work as a growing area. Oh, my big kids are ready to come in. Get them. If you have any green ideas, just grow for it, because if I can do this and I'm a mess, you can do this. Be green.